number 1.
Awesome. Old man face once again. Let's go ahead and get into it. It just looks like he like walked into his bedroom. You know what I mean? He's just like, oh, what are you doing here?
Right? 12 o'clock spawn. We have Mihu.
Alrighty, and of course we have the red Protoss TT1 down here in the 8 o'clock position.
All right, so TT1, not a huge fan of Nexus First. Doesn't really like the game state you end up with when Terran bunker rushes you. Even if they kill it, Terran's not necessarily ahead, but again, Protoss can't really do much from that position either. TT1 really likes to be the one who's aggressive, dictate the terms of the game.
Alrighty. How common would you say a bunker rush is going to be out of Mihu? I mean, this is my first game ever watching it. Was he that aggressive with his playstyle?
Not necessarily, but 3-player map, you don't have cross spawns. If you see 12 next, you gotta bunker rush it. You gotta punish Protoss for taking that risk. And again, TT1 not want to do that, just see gateway from him. TT1 is one to never scout. I guess that's his like that's just how he plays. Really wants to gain as much of an economic edge as he can early game. And
he's sending a signal, man. He's like, I'm not scared. I'm never afraid.
And we have Terran here with the Rex, and something we've seen a lot from Protosses in the last like 6 months, maybe a year, is that they do like early Zealots in this matchup. No longer just going straight Goon, really want to pressure with early Zealots.
Oh, gross. And this can get so much done too, especially if you're not expecting it. Have the Terrans been adjusting to that? Do you think that he's going to be ready and kind of expecting to see that? Or has Mihu not interacted enough with the foreign scene to really be able to kind of keep up with our meta?
Well, looks like we actually have Mihu not going for Brax gas. He's just going straight into expand. And I think Mihu has played enough foreigners that he gets a sense, but the players are just completely different. You can't really compare Dawid to Bonnet, and definitely not to TT1. They just play completely differently. And we actually have him going command center first before a second depot. So if TT1 had made a Zealot and just gone right away with pressure before gas, Mihu could be in a little bit of trouble here, but not seeing that. And I mean, TT1 just going into Dragoon. Mihu gets the first scout, which is critical. Pulling off gas is TT1, and Mihu sees everything.
Yeah, that's a little unfair. I feel like we should ban scouting. If we had, if TT1's not going to scout, it's not fair that Mihu's allowed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. And it's Rax expand. So TT1, I mean, is he going to scout this first? It's kind of a big deal. He's going to go for the SCV, which is good. Killing this lets him do whatever he wants. Maybe he puts 3 on gas, and it was a fake. Maybe he goes for mass gate off one base, but TT1 just one to expand here, and you can see Mihu, okay, sees the Nexus and everything, so he has full information here.
Oh my gosh, that's unfair. And the SCV even gonna get out alive, so very nice scout for Mihu now. Yeah, what are we looking at, man? What do you think that we're gonna see in the mid game here? Does Mihu try to pressure on 2 base, or does he try to go for the 3 base, delay the all in and play a macro style? It sounds to me, from what I've heard, that we're gonna see like a 2-1 timing or 2-0 timing off of 2 base.
Yeah, so from what we saw against Terror, I mean against Dawid and Bonify, does favor the longer game, but he's not one to just sit back if he sees a window to attack. And it's like he's going 1 factory. It's not double factory, so this is actually pretty important that he got off all that information. He's going double factory follow-up because he saw TT1 playing completely safe, just going Nexus, and took off gas, so he doesn't really fear DT here. And I mean, this is huge. This is going to lead to a very strong timing with maybe 3 tanks from Mihu, and TT1 pressuring the bunker, which is what we usually see when you see Rax expand, but again, only 1 Dragoon, second one coming only now, and TT1 poked that Dragoon a little bit forward just to scout the command center, and he saw it, and there we have an eBay from Mihu. Will we see a second add-on right away is the question.
Ooh, and a robo from TT1 here. Obviously, a kind of like a essential building right away in this matchup. You need to get those observers out really quick so that way your units aren't dying all over the map to mines and things like that. But yeah, so if we see double add-on, we're going to see a pretty big heavy tank push, I would assume then.
Yeah, probably going to be 3 tank push, and looks like we are seeing double add-on. These should be the vulture upgrades, not siege mode, to push and then reinforce quickly. We have a turret at the front, just a safety measure, and we have the first tank here. TT1's going to see it. It won't have siege, and it's never going to get siege early. We actually have TT1 taking a lot of tank fire on this one Dragoon. He's got to be careful.
Oh no.
Oh my god, he could actually lose that Dragoon.
Yeah, like one more shot.
Yeah, he's got to be careful because he doesn't know this, but if he sees a second tank right now, he definitely just retreats. And this Dragoon almost dies, ends up with like 3 HP, and it actually was siege, so I'm a little bit confused by Mihu's play. It's not going for a timing here. Definitely had the opportunity to do so, and it's just gonna kill the eggs. TT1 behind us gonna take a third. His observer is gonna be key. He's gonna scout, and it'll tell him what Terran's doing, and how he's gonna follow up is pretty important. Looks like second gas right away. So just a normal macro game here.
Very strange. So what's the point of going double add-on if you're just going to kind of sit around and get siege mode first and kind of sit back and take some time before you take initiative in this game?
So he's building up a very large tank count, and instead of going armory academy, which is normal, this to me indicates he's going to go for a 2-base timing with a lot of tanks pretty fast. You can see his tank count is building up. TT1 unfortunately losing that first observer. That's actually huge because this to me is a 6-fact timing with +1. He's not really prioritizing getting those upgrades super fast, so it's not going to be 2-1. And I mean, TT1, when you lose that first observer, it's actually pretty painful because you're gonna have to keep making more. You're cutting into your gas, and nope, completely wrong. Just taking a third, and a lot of tanks are being made. But this is a lot of tanks.
Oh yeah, and so his first push is going to come, I would assume, significantly faster than usual. We don't see any, we haven't seen, I don't think we've seen a single vulture yet on the field here. You know, so this is going to accelerate him towards a late game army with no garbage units kind of sitting around. Oh my god, there's so many tanks on the field already. Getting that third up really quickly though, and then just having the tanks defend, it's going to accelerate him towards that end game. Like, would you say we're expecting to see a push around like 150 supply?
I think it depends on what TT1 does, because TT1 usually plays for a 3-base bust, and Mihu is actually making all these tanks, and it's going to allow him to take his third just off 2 factories, and I guess that makes sense. We see TT1 like never one to miss a beat with his probe cycles. You can see he has a ton of probes already. He's going up to 6, probably 8 gateways. Gonna go into Arbiter tech. He only had 2 on gas in the main, which I think he just he forgot to put back. So that's actually a pretty big deal. It's gonna be short on gas once he starts making those arbiters.
Man, I kind of love to see this kind of stuff because these are the type of mistakes that I make, and even seeing like the best players in the foreign scene make these little mistakes give me hope that I'll, you know, eventually make it out of D, dude.
I believe in you. If anyone can do it.
I feel like I have a very specific StarCraft related disability or something like that. I have a good friend, 80s Mullet, who has Terran learning disability. I think I got the Zerg version of that, man. It's pretty bad.
All right, so Terran already has a third, and this can start to be a little bit scary because this was Rax expand. TT1 really didn't do anything to punish it, and Terran just took a third really fast as well. So Terran's gonna have a crazy economy, and on top of that, he's gonna have a crazy amount of tanks.
Oh man, look at all the factories popping up now. This is terrifying to see.
Yeah, second army started. 8 factories for TT1. He is taking a 4th. He is going to Arbiter tech, but I mean, I gotta say, Terran, this has been just a great opening for them, but TT1 likes to play these types of games.
Alrighty, well, we are kind of getting to the point where I think Terran's going to start pushing out. Are we going to have Arbiter in time to really counter any kind of like 3-base type of move out on the map? Or is it going to take a while? Because, I mean, Arbiters take forever to make, and then their energy takes even longer.
Yeah, I think you will have at least one stasis, and then a second Arbiter gaining energy. But Mihu's build is really accelerated by the fact that he did Rax Expand, and he already has a third. You can see he's actually ahead on supply against TT1, which is not something you usually see in this matchup. And I mean, he's working on 2-1 right now, so in about 2 minutes, he's gonna have that ready, and he's gonna have. I mean, usually you're talking about maybe like 18 tanks. But I think he's gonna have like 24 tanks by the time he's ready to push out, which is, I mean, the damage potential is a lot higher with tanks. The more you get, the more they actually do together. Like, it doesn't scale linearly. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, one tank is a lot worse than 2 tanks. It's not half as worse. So here we go. Looks like TT1's actually gonna try to bust, but he's gotta wait for that first Arbiter to have 100 energy for stasis. But I mean, by the time that happens, Terran's gonna be maxed, and he's gonna have missed his window. So not looking great for TT1. He does have a 4th, but he will need more bases to actually stay in this game. At least 1 more, if not 2.
I'm really worried here that I'm going to sneeze in a moment, and TT1 is going to move in, and in that time, the entire Protoss army is going to turn from units into blue goo and gas.
Yeah, that could. I mean, usually in this matchup, it builds to this point, and if Terran wins a fight, the game's over. If Protoss can trade, not effectively, but enough that you don't know the tank count, then you see the game go on longer. So it's really like, Protoss has to do something with this engagement. It can't just be a complete landslide. And it looks like TT1's moving in while the tanks are on the low ground, but this is so much Terran behind this initial tank line. Arbiter doesn't have stasis. There is the stasis, and looks like he's gaining ground here. Dragoons haven't been picked off. Zealots are getting into the tank line. It's actually a very good engagement for TT1. Zealots still alive. You can see how far they're getting into the tank line, and he reinforced perfectly. Another round of Zealots actually gets to this position.
Oh no, and now the Zealots are dragging tank fire all over the SCVs in the tank line here. For one stasis, this sure went a completely different way than I thought it was going to.
Yeah, and just barely able to reinforce in time. We see TT1 kept at least 8 to 10 Dragoons alive, which is key. You don't want to remake those, you just want to remake Zealots. So very nice engagement for TT1, and he bought himself a lot of time. He killed a lot of tanks in that engagement, which is really the big thing. And I think Mihu will now make a 3rd add-on, so you can start replenishing those tanks. But definitely a victory for TT1 there.
Yeah, very nicely done. Almost the entire initial portion of the engagement done while TT1's army was still uphill, so offering them a pretty significant amount of protection. Yeah, that was definitely a great engagement. Especially, I mean, a 4-tank stasis isn't bad, but it's not like a, you know, like it's not like the God stasis or whatever. So I wasn't expecting that to go anywhere near as well. But now we have TT1 once again taking another fight. Storm doing a significant portion of damage, and we do have, you know. Oh wow, a whole lot of Dragoons dying all of a sudden to tank fire, and it looks like we're gonna have to back off.
Yeah, so what you saw there is like, the Storm was actually crazy because it killed, it didn't kill the tanks, but it did so much damage to them. You see, once tanks go down, like, the Goons can just stay and fight, but again, without Zealot reinforcements, the Dragoons against just straight up tanks die right away. So, I mean, TT1 is engaging well. Everything's working in his favor. The only thing Terran has is these immense upgrades, and like, with the 3rd add-on, he will be able to replenish his tank count. So TT1 still has to take maybe another 2 good fights before I would say he's in a good position, because 3 base against 4, if Terran's on these upgrades, it's not that great for Protoss.
Looks like we still only have a single Arbiter with the army. Do we have more Arbiter energy available, or are we waiting on this one guy to make an entirely new, you know, set of spells? It looks like we don't have any more Arbiters in production, although we do have a second one now joining the army.
So this is actually huge, because that Arbiter did get EMP'd, and he only has a second one now, but doesn't have any energy, and he might also get EMP'd. He's got to be very careful here. TT1 because I mean arbiters are really what helps Protoss fight straight up here. He is mixing in some storms, which is very nice. But here we go, Terran near max. I think 3-2 is about to be done. 2-1 still, but here we go. Terran is on the high ground. That's a lot
Zealot's
of tanks.
getting all up on that though. The Vulture's kind of playing a little bit down to the south of the map, and a lot of initial Zealots get on top of these tanks. Really nice storms, cleaning up a ton of tanks and some Vultures. Wow,
huge
what an
storm there from
engagement.
TT1. He still has mostly Dragoons left. He's got to retreat here, I would say, but looks like he's just going to push through. It's mostly Dragoons against tanks. Does he have any storms left? Looks like no. But again, just the initial engagement works out for TT1 so well. He's fighting back to Terran. He's pushing him back. Terran just now taking 4th and 5th, but he does have map control. So TT1 only on 5 bases now. He's still only on +1. This is going to be 3-2 pretty soon for Terran. It's a very scary moment for TT1.
Oh man, that last fight, I saw that High Templar just go in and just take the mines for the team, dude. He was like, I'm out of energy. I'm sacrificing myself for the cause. What a hero, man. That was Tassadar right there.
And then we do see, I mean, if there's one thing TT1 hasn't been doing, he hasn't been upgrading and he hasn't been making arbiters, and eventually Terran just outscales the Terran, the Protoss. And ooh, those are some nice mines there. Again, the tank count not massive due to how good TT1's engagements have been. And it's like he's coming in from a different angle here. He's trying to get from 2 angles. High Templar is leading. No storms have gone off quite yet. That's a decent storm. Really got to get on top of the tanks. And looks like no, it's not going to be enough here. No Zealots. And for the first time, we actually see TT1 not able to break through with a fight. And all of a sudden, I mean, it's looking grim.
Yeah, really immaculately placed mines really shut down the aggression coming from the left side there, and sandwich attack really going quite abysmally. Unfortunately, we do have Mihu pulling quite significantly ahead in supply at this point, and again, as you said, his reinforcements are starting to look a little bit beefier than Vultures at this point. TT1's army just continuing to dwindle and not really able to amass as much arbiter energy as he wants. So these fights again are going to get worse and worse for him as this game continues.
Yeah, and we haven't seen that, I mean, critical amount of stasis going off. These last few engagements have seen 0 stasis, really relying on storm to get the job done. But once the tank count is this high and you don't have stasis, you can just see Protoss can't engage.
Yeah, I mean, the storms have been godly, but not very many Templars, and Templars getting picked off by tanks, and EMP usage has been really good. And now we just don't have any splash damage. We're just, you know, throwing these gateway units at this gigantic Terran army, and no real way to even like get a little bit of initial damage on the tanks here. So the Dragoons are getting shredded. The Zealots basically disappear in the blink of an eye, and they're just taking critical damage on your Dragoon ball and no longer really being able to take any effective fights. So it looks like we're going to have a base going down here now. And this is probably the beginning of the end for game number 1.
Yeah, just no splash left, no stasis, and Terran just pushing through, and that's GG.
Man,